So, yep. Welcome back to another episode of Automotive Insight. Today's repair is a 2015 Volkswagen Touareg 3-liter turbo diesel. Customer states that the battery warning light did come on for about 30 minutes. The alternator is currently working and there is no message or warning light on. We did a code scan on the vehicle and there is a code in there for mechanical alternator failure. Freeze frame data shows the alternator isn't working. And the customer requested to replace the alternator anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it. And we're going to remove the engine cover. Next thing we do is we're going to work on trying to disconnect the power from the B+ terminal on the alternator. Go over here to the jump start point. This system is live. I'm not going through the process to disconnect the battery. We're just going to isolate the B+ circuit. So once this is disconnected, we're going to wrap it in electrical tape. And we also don't want to ground this out because this is live. So if you don't want to go through this method and disconnect the battery, you can watch our Touareg battery installation video and removing the seat. It's a lot safer method, but we're going to try this to see if we can save some time. I am using a 17mm 12 point to get that little fastener off because a 6 point would not work. That's because it's got 8 sides. So we verify there's no source voltage on here. We're just going to tape it up for secure measure. So we're going to remove this upper turbocharged piping. The hose clamps are 7mm. All right, using a pick, just kind of worked around till it broke loose and then was able to remove it. Next, we're going to take off our serpentine belt. This is the tensioner pulley. We're going to use a T55 Torx bit and a ratchet and loosen the belt. We are going to replace the tensioner and the serpentine belt during this process, but it's a T55 and a ratchet, and we'll get that loose. Next, we're going to work on removing this bracket here. It's attached to the upper radiator hose. We'll see if we just can't work that around. We'll disconnect the harness from that bracket. That is a T30 bolt, and there's a bolt right behind it. So let's see if we can't get this out of the way without draining the coolant. Next, we're going to remove the lower engine cover. There's 10 10mm screws. So next, we're going to work on removing the B+ terminal. It is right here. I have verified that I don't have power to it. That goes straight to the alt starter, and then that goes up to the jump start post we disconnected. But you just want to verify just to be safe, and I have no power there, so we are good to remove it. Okay, next we're going to remove the air box to see if we can't get to the control side of the other connector on the back of the alternator. It is on the top part. I can't get to it, so we're going to remove the air box and see if we can't go in from the side. There's a hose clamp here. We can remove the upper box, disconnect the mass airflow. Okay, so we still can't get to it, so next thing I want to do is to just drop the alternator down. We are going to unbolt it. So there's 2 bolts holding the alternator on. There's that one, and one right behind the pulley there. They are 13mm. We're going to remove those. Alright, so to explain what we did, I kind of knocked the bottom part of the alternator. It could swing down. That way I could wiggle the alternator back and forth. We got it off the top part, off the top flange, and then we was able to face it down and then unplug it from the back from where we took the air filter box off. We're going to finish removing the box. All right, so we're going to remove the other intake tube that clamps a 7mm also. We're at the lower part of the intercooler. There's a metal clip I've taken off. I'm going to remove this hose build up in there. We're going to remove the intercooler piping hose completely, just so we don't have to, if this doesn't work and we can't squeeze the alternator out, we're going to have to disconnect the upper coolant hose. That's the last thing I'm trying to do. So let's see if this works now. All right, that didn't work. So we're going to just remove the upper radiator hose. It's got a one-way clutch in it. That one sounds a lot better. That could be the issue of it just wasn't catching. So anyway, we're going to go back in with the new one. We got our alternator back in the general area. We're going to plug our regulator connector back in. If I can find it. We'll put our upper radiator hose back on. Next, we'll put our two T30 screws back in for the upper charge pipe to the alternator. Replace the tensioner before we put the rest of the alternator back. In the center of the tensioner is a triple square M12. We're going to remove that, and we should be able to remove the tensioner with just that one bolt. So sometimes you get lucky with certain parts. The reason I went with this one is because it had the ENA stamped on it, and ENA tends to do what I tend to find is they make a lot of the OE parts. On the OEM one, right here in the orange, you can see it says ENA. Alright, we got our new tensioner back in. We still have the lock pin in it for when we put the belt on. It'll help installation easier, installing the belt easier. But I did find that since the new tensioner was locked, it puts this part and right here bumping into the power steering pump. So I got in there a little tight, and then I was able to kind of twist it and just kind of move it behind it, and then that allowed the dowel to get into place to go in there. Because of that back cover, or that, I guess, little shim, that kind of made it a little bit harder. That goes around the alternator, the upper idler, around the water pump, underneath the idler on the driver's side, around the power steering pump, down around the compressor, then around the harmonic balancer, back over to the tensioner, and then over the last idler pulley. So with the air box still removed, we can reach on down here to the alternator and install the B+ wire, or you can go back down underneath how we took it off, but I'm going to do it from up here. Okay, we got to put our clip back in that I took out for the intercooler. Alright, we got our clip back in place. We'll clean this up. It should snap back in. Okay, we'll go ahead and get our air box back in. So we're going to put our battery cable back on. So here's a little bit of the live data for the alternator. Everything electrical, mechanical, and thermal is okay. Voltage output's 14.7. That looks good, and that's normal for this. Again, this is just normal information because right here, I know we weren't able to show it because we only were able to see it in the freeze frame data of the code, but this is where a mechanical issue most likely happened to this alternator. But everything looks good, and the charging voltage is good. So get this button up, and this one's done. All right, well, that wraps this up. We did top off the coolant, put our engine cover on, and basically everything's the same as was when we started it. Voltage is good, no noise from the alternator, no warning messages. The part about this job is paying for the alternator itself. From the manufacturer, I call the dealership, it is almost $1,300 just for a new alternator. They do have a remanufacture option, which is about $100, $150 less, but you have to buy a new pulley with it, which makes it more expensive than the new one that comes with the pulley. At the time of this filming, the alternator itself was on back order. Nobody nationwide had it, So I had to source the Vallejo brand, which was also getting hard to find. Vallejo is the OE manufacturer, and I have no problem opting for that one if an OE one's not available. There's a good chance it's the same product. For the Vallejo one, I saw prices about $750 up to $1,100. So potentially not much cheaper than the dealership one itself. So they were also getting kind of scarce for this alternator. They did have aftermarket ones, which were about $600. Labor breakdown costs for about 2.5 hours. But anyway, that wraps this up. I may not have all your answers. Hopefully I had some. That being said, see you on the next one.
Said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
I didn't think it was worth it because of the price of these, of how you might as well just, I didn't think it was worth